for to defend her national gymnastics title. Kim Zmeskal came to take it away. With near-perfect performances, Zmeskal proved that a new generation of gymnasts is ready to step forward. Now, American Gymnastics has a 14-year-old champion. Her triumph marked a past champion's descent. Brandy Johnson enters today's event finals, searching for a new determination. Minnesota's John Roethlisberger showed uncommon composure in building an early lead in the men's all-around. In the optional performances, he drew on the support of his father, a former Olympian, and now his college coach. John made the national title an early Father's Day gift. And today, these champions compete in the individual event finals. This afternoon, we're at the Coliseum in Denver as the elite in American gymnastics get together. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome once again to the U.S. Gymnastics Championships. I'm Joel Myers, and it's day 2 of the competition as we conclude the U.S. Gymnastics Championships in Denver today. Yesterday, it was the competitors vying for the all-around title. On the men's side, the winner was John Roethlisberger from the University of Minnesota, and the new darling of the sport, the winner on the women's side on quite a roll right now, from Bella Caroli's gym in Houston, Texas, Kim Zmeskal. Now everyone starts from scratch, and we'll see new champions crowned today in the individual apparatus. Joining us on our coverage once again, a coach of the World Championship squad last year, Christy Kraft. And Christy, an opportunity for some of the young women to capitalize that didn't do as well as they anticipated.
You're absolutely right, Joel. As a matter of fact, it's a great chance for a gymnast like Brandy Johnson, but a disappointing all-around competition to come back and really shine on her best events. Of course, it's an opportunity for Kim Zmeskal to supplement her all-around title with some individual event golds.
Also with us on our coverage today, a gold medalist in the '84 Summer Games in Los Angeles, Tim Daggett. Tim, day 2 should be a lot of fun, a lot of creativity on the men's side as well.
That's right, Joe. We will see the best, the experts on each individual apparatus. These kids will pull out all the stops here today. And I feel confident that we may even see 1 or 2 perfect 10s.
This afternoon, the men will be competing in 6 different rotations. The floor exercise, pommel horse, still rings, vault, parallel bars, and the high bar. While on the other side, the women will be on 4 apparatus, the vault, the uneven bars, the balance beam, and the floor exercise. So we have 10 events, 10 new champions to be crowned today. Our all-around champion we're looking at now in the men's division, John Roethlisberger. And on the women's side, Kim Zmeskal. We'll see how they'll fare this afternoon as we return to Denver, Colorado. As we get ready for the individual event finals. And first up on the floor exercise, our all-around champ, John Roethlisberger.
He had such a fantastic competition. He actually qualified for 5 of the 6 individual apparatuses in the finals. You know, and I think that first pass right there really characterized all of John's gymnastics in this championships. He really didn't knock our socks off, but it was so well done, giving nothing away whatsoever.
The top 6 competitors from the all-around competition yesterday qualified for the individual finals this afternoon, and what an honor it is to be included in today's portion of the program.
And most of the athletes we see on 1 or 2, maybe 3 events, but like I said earlier, 5 of the 6 events John Roethlisberger qualified on.
John was telling us just in the last day or 2 that he feels the men have to train harder. Maybe the last few years the U.S. men haven't tried to train quite as much as maybe they needed to. He said the Soviets really have set the standard in training. Feels there's room for improvement on the U.S. men's side.
Well, here is a perfect example of excellent conditioning. Watch this. Full in, back out at the end of a routine. That is so difficult. Most athletes are mounting with a skill like that, and after 70 seconds on the floor exercise, you're pretty tired, and it's hard to get that skill around.
So a good start for John Roethlisberger.
Let's take a look at why this is so difficult, so hard at the end of a routine. He needs a lot of speed, good power, does a full twist followed by a back flip. That's a lot to do at the end of a set.
Tough way to start the day on the floor exercise, such a demanding and grueling event. And John Roethlisberger with a solid 9.775. And don't forget, the top scorer in each individual event wins the gold this afternoon. Up next on the floor, the national championship team at the University of Nebraska, Patrick Kirksey.
And boy, you know, John really threw it out right from the start there, 9.775. That's a difficult score to match. Patrick's biggest skill comes right off the bat here. Full twisting double back way up in the air. Now, the thing that was a little bit different about that is he actually did the twist on the second flip, whereas most of the other gymnasts are completing the full twist on the first rotation. Another thing that makes that a little bit more difficult is he doesn't have the aid of grabbing his knees and accelerating his rotation. He's doing it completely in the open position.
Patrick, a member of our U.S. national team this year, qualifying as one of the top 12 men in the all-around competition. Former competitive swimmer.
Oh, wow, that was incredible. You cannot land any better than that.
21-year-old Patrick Kirksey, the tallest member on the U.S. national team at 5 feet 10 inches.
We're going to look at his mount here to see just why it is more difficult. Remember, I said that he doesn't have the aid of grabbing his knees to accelerate his rotation. He does this in the complete open position, which is much more difficult. However, he almost steps out of bounds right there.
Just 4 weeks ago, Patrick finished third best at the NCAA championships in the all-around competition at a 9.575.
Well, you know, he had a little bit of a stumble in the beginning, almost stepped out of bounds, and I think that really cost him some tense.
Third up in the floor exercise, Lance Ringnauld, who finished third in the all-around competition yesterday.
If I had to pick an event where Lance has come the farthest, it's right here. Beautiful double layout somersault. Not quite enough rotation. Had to pike down and take that big hop. But here's his major tumbling pass. Watch. Oh, that is so difficult. That was a 1.5 twisting, 1 3/4 somersault, and landed in the rolling out position.
We are watching right now one of the most powerful tumblers on the U.S. men's side.
Yeah, he really has improved his technique and his power tremendously on this event. Beautiful double full, changing his direction from backwards to forwards, right into a front flip.
That bell you hear in the background tells the gymnast he has 20 seconds remaining in his minute and 10-second routine.
Oh, and what a landing. He wired that one. I think that's the best performance I've seen Lance Ringnauld have on the floor exercise in his entire career.
An Olympian in 1988, the youngest member on our men's team at the Seoul Summer Games.
Now let's take a look at this. Watch what happens in one space of air here. He'll do 1.5 twists and 1 3/4 flips in the laid out position.
We may be looking right now at a new leader. On the men's floor exercise, Lance Ringnauld coming up big in his first event of the day. He needs to top a 9.775, and he doesn't. So he is just trailing on the floor exercise. John Roethlisberger. Somewhat surprised him?
Boy, that's very surprising. I thought that was an excellent effort. I think they were a little tight on him.
Bob Stelter, also from the national championship team at the University of Nebraska.
And is this kid ever powerful? Maybe not as elegant, as graceful as some of the other athletes, but he just explodes on this event.
Bob has to really feel frustrated after just missing out, making the U.S. national team the top 12 qualified for the national side over the next 12 months. And Bob finished number 13, so Bob Stelter will not be representing the U.S. over the next 12 months in international competition.
Bob's working very nicely. That was a front to an immediate front flip, showing some acrobatic or bounding ability. There's a small break, though. He does his Y scale. This is usually a rest part, and you definitely do not want to give tenths away there, but it was a small deduction. Oh, beautiful dismount. That is the best dismount we've seen all day.
So Bob Stelter is trying to overtake a 9.775 John Roethlisberger.
For a complete floor exercise, it's not just tumbling and acrobatic elements. It's skills like this. This is called a straddled plunge. A little bit unique, and Bob does it very well. What we see here is the icing on the cake. A stocked routine followed up by an incredible full in back out, and he just wires this landing. Flawless.
So now Bob Stelter finds out if he is overtaken. Yes, he has. John Roethlisberger. There's the men floor exercise champion, Bob Stelter, with a 9.875, and he just found out the good news. It's a little consolation as opposed to what happened yesterday, but he's got to be excited after not making the U.S. national team.
Oh yeah, being a national champion is a great thrill for anyone, and I'm sure Bob is extremely pleased right now.
So we have completed one rotation of the men's division, with Bob Stelter winning the floor exercise, Roethlisberger picking up the silver, and Ringnauld winning the bronze. We'll be right back to Denver as we get ready with the women's competition beginning. The individual event finals continue at the U.S. Gymnastics Championships. We'll be watching the women's vault now and the men's pommel horse. And on the men's pommel horse, to get things underway, Chris Waller from UCLA, who finished second yesterday in the all-around competition.
And Chris really is a good introduction to pommel horse. He'll show us beautiful extended swings. His body is in complete balance and totally in control throughout. Look at that. What he's doing is he's traveling all the way across the horse in the flare position while spindling at the same time. Tremendous.
This is truly 30 seconds of non-stop action.
The dismount, a flare right to the handstand, and a good landing. A great routine, very difficult, very elegant, but he did leave out a major combination requirement. Let's take a look at this. This is his most exciting skill in the routine. He'll travel the entire horse while in flare, all the while turning his body opposite to the way he's circling.
Chris led in the men's all-around competition until the final two rotations. And let's see if the judges did pick up on that omission in his pommel horse routine, and obviously they did, because he only came up with a 9.5. It's the first rotation now in the women's division as we move over to the vault. And a homecoming, a Denver native, gets it underway. Sandy Woolsey, fifth in the all-around. And Christy, this is one of her strongest areas.
Sandy will be performing a layout full for her first vault. The start value for this vault is 10 points, so it's possible to receive a perfect score on this vault. That was a strong vault, but she made some mistakes. Her legs were a little bit bent in the flight, and she had a small hop on the landing, so she won't be receiving a perfect 10.
In the individual event finals, Sandy Woolsey, like the rest of the competitors, will have two vaults, and they'll average those two scores.
Here's her round off and a back handspring onto the horse, big push, layout full off. Now that vault requires a great deal of precision and consistency, and those are trademarks of Sandy Woolsey.
At 17, Sandy's one of the oldest in the finals. We asked her if it's tough to stay competitive that long.
Well, I think a lot of it is when they get older, women mature, and I think that has a lot to do with it, and also their views over it. If